everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. It is Tuesday 10 today, so we are going to go through 10 things that I keep in my big basket of paper behind my desk, and we're going to use them all up. So today I have, this is kind of a scrap of a calendar that I cabbage dyed that's a little scrappy on the back, but I kept it because I just was like, it's too pretty. This is a leftover envelope from some cling stamps from your creative studio. This is just a little scrap of probably Tim Holtz paper, a collage board that I made some time ago. This is a book page that has some different kinds of Valentines and ads on it. Another book page. This one has cards. Another book page from a garden book this time with these little bits. A magazine or art book page with that cool batik pattern. Lots of book pages today. I just really randomly grabbed. This has Apple images. And this has this. Some cool stuff. Okay, so lots of book pages today and some scrappy bits and whatnots. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is the easy one, which is to just get this envelope made. And you know, there's a lot of images here that we can use. So I'm thinking about, I quite like this one. So I think I'm going to use that one on this. And then let's just set this stuff aside. So I'm filming this on a little early on the long weekend because I have a little bit of time to do so. So we've had a nice big snow. I would like to go tobogganing a little today. I also have to go grocery shopping a little. Okay. Alrighty, so now let's just get some glue here. I'm going to use art glitter glue, I think. I'll probably just glue stick it, but then I'll use art glitter glue around the edges because I want to wrap it around. And I know that the art glitter glue will give it that extra firmness that I want in the glue, that extra assurance. There we go. So now I'll just pick that up. Try to get that even. Yep. Get rid of this. Fold this over. Okay. There we go. So yeah, I have been very busy actually. I finished a journal today, but I can't really show it to you probably till next week because I'm waiting, well, the end of this week, I guess. I'm waiting on a couple of supplies for it. So there's going to be like an add-on and it needs to all go together. Okay, so that is done. Now, what am I most intimidated by at the moment? I think of this. So let's try to do something with this. And we'll come back to that other little bitsy boo. So what I'm thinking, I did just buy this collection of paper dolls from Banana Fana Design on Etsy, and they are Celestial Punks. So I think they'd go really great on here. We could make a couple tags with them. Maybe these two. So let me set those ones aside over there because I like the background with them, but obviously we need to ink them because they're standing out like a sore thumb at the moment. Yesterday I took part in my local scrapbook store had an online auction, so I got some good auction goodies yesterday, and I one of the things I got is this lovely 3-tiered turning little ink dauber holder. And I'm excited to get it because I will finally have an easy, kind of quick way to manage having all my little ink daubers for the different colors of Tim Holtz ink that I have. And then I'm also trying to decide on a slightly better way to organize my Tim Holtz inks and oxides that I like that will work in my space, and I'm still giving that a little bit of thought. I know that they make those metal cases and all that kind of thing, but I'm just not sure that's what I want. Or those, like, there's all these different plastic things you can get. I don't know. I got to think about how I want to present them. If I want to have a label on the side. I've already got like a little ink swatch kind of thing on the side of most of them. Like I did this kind of thing, but I mean, they get worn over time. But obviously you could do like a nice label and you could do a color swatch. I see people spending though so much time on creating these kind of things. And I'm just like, I don't want to spend a bunch of time like swatching every single ink that I have. And you know, because I think at the end of the day you have to think about when you're doing your work and be honest, right? Like, do you actually look through all of your blues and go, I specifically absolutely require this blue, and does that blue even exist? To the level of which, you know, like obviously there's going to be light, like sky blue, light blue, a navy, you know, like a dusty blue, like those kind of things, right? As much in a palette as what exists. But I don't know. I've been thinking a little bit about it, and I'm just like, I don't think I really do that. At least not frequently. Like if I'm doing something like, you know, for the color card videos that I'm making, then yeah, I'm going to try to match it up as best I can. But I also do things like, let's say I use a blue and I need it to be a little darker. I might go in and get an oxide, like a black oxide, and kind of do some blending and stuff. So I think I look at it more kind of like a paint palette. So like I understand swatching it, but like I don't feel like making those cards that are like the inks, the oxides with water, and all of that. That just feels like a lot of work to me. Maybe when I'm retired, or maybe when I grow some patience, I will want to do that kind of thing, but not today. Not today. So I think just about everybody in my house is over this little, well, not little, I mean stomach bug. With kids, that is never little. So yeah, it has roamed through my house. But I mean, I can be thankful that it's not something worse. I just read this morning there's a case of measles in the Toronto area. Ugh, so frustrated about that. I'm like, no, vaccinate. Thankfully, they documented their whereabouts, and we haven't been to any of those places. It's mostly like the Trafalgar Hospital and surrounding areas. I think they were at a mall and somewhere else, but they recently had traveled. I don't know. I just feel like I've never been so like concerned about health before the last few years. It's just like, oh yeah. But I guess it comes from having kids, and you know, you're faced with more things because they're like little petri dishes. All right, those are cut out. Where is my trimmer so I can even them out, because I'm sure they're likely a little crooked. I typically need to sort things out a bit when I cut this way. It's actually not too bad. This side is. This side is. Okay. And I need to grocery shop today. I need to buy a few things because I want to make a few loaves of banana bread. I've got some bananas that have seen a better day, and I want to use those up, and I have a whole bunch of them, so I'm probably going to make a nice 2 to 3 loaves of banana bread with chocolate chips, because my kids will be more guaranteed to eat the bread if they have chocolate chips in them, and maybe some maraschino cherries on top as well, which is one of my favorite things to do with banana bread, is add some maraschino cherries on top. It just changes the whole thing and makes it yummy, yummier. It's like a little treat. Speaking of which, mint tea. So, I don't think I'm particularly have been affected by the stomach flu thing. It's not a flu, but it's just, a stomach bug. Someone picked up a germ somewhere and it's done some angry things. So, but when you're around kids who are experiencing the symptoms of this, for me, I have like a strong psychological response where I feel sick even when I'm not, when it comes to stomach things. It could even be that the dog is sick, and that happens to me for like usually a few hours. So I'm trying to kind of outsmart my psychology on this and like drink some tea, like, ooh, I cut this a little too smally wally. I wonder, would it still be kind of cool if I just did like a half a person? I've got these, I did these swatches, and I might use them. So see, these are little watercolor paint swatches that I did with my son the other day. We were sitting and painting together. So I think I might like do something with them in colors that are sensible for this, and then put some words on there. So I can probably cut the feet down and just have it be kind of like that. I think I'm fine with that. Every now and then you just gotta live with your mistake. I mean, I could certainly add some more size to these, but I kind of like them small. I don't want to go to... Oh, why did I glue that first? I think I need to glue these first. Someone's distracted. Okay, let's glue and glue. I want that one there and that one there. And then we'll take him and he can be about here. Yeah. Okay. We'll cut his little feet off. Okay, then I also have these. I was thinking that might be kind of cool on there. Maybe on that side. I think I actually just like it on this side, oddly enough, even though I'm kind of covering one of my swatches entirely. I wonder if I could just pull that off of there. Yeah, I can. Sweet. I don't want to waste this little swatch. Let's just put it maybe on here. Let's just put it there, because it's not dry yet, so. Okay. Then we'll take this to this. So this is just some scraps, like strips of scraps, which is why I'm saying straps, that I stitched together, right? They're those cut off edges. I have a how to make this video, I think, on my Patreon. It's one of my fodder Fridays. Okay. Yeah, and then like you'll have this, it'll be kind of rugged and fun. Matches the whole look of this. So I'll probably stitch this with something up top here. Maybe some of this, actually. I've got this leftover, like, yeah, let's cut it into 2 pieces. And we'll make kind of a couple tags that can go together. Be like a little, they won't necessarily go together, but they'll be like a little family. So that'll go in my stitch pile. put that over here. Then we'll do the same over here with her. And I don't know if I have, do I have another one of those same, I think I do have more of those scrappy bits. Here's a smaller one. That's a different kind of color though. I don't know if it'll go, it might go. It'll just be sort of a slightly different look. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe because it's like feminine and you know, it's a girl. So let's glue her down. And then I can also decide if I want to put another swatch of paint on there. So she'll go like here. Then I have this pinky one, which could be kind of cool. But if I want this on here, we could even like overlap that. That could also be on that side or behind her head. Well, that's kind of cool there. Even over here, overlapping that. Okay, let's just do it. We'll overlap it there. I just need to make a decision. That's good. All right, then I'll glue this on. Okay. Good, good. And then this will go with it as well, up at the top. Yeah. Okay, that's that done. Now, what's next? What's next? So I've got this collage board. Trying to see if there's anything on here I might want to use the collage board. There's lots of those plants. Whoa, what was that? Oh. Out of nowhere, the handle just came flying off of my corner rounder. That was fun. Yeah, let's try to use these together. I think I have a little idea here for this. So we'll move these out of the way again. So I need my paper cutter. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of those. And they're small. Gnarly edge off. And maybe I gotta trim this edge too because it's uneven, I can tell. That's good. Now how big is this? This is 11.5. So I guess we'll go about like 5.5 and one more knot. That'll be good. Then this is just about 8.5. Maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4. Thinking I want to make some nice little thinner tags. You know, I never have little thin things to put in pockets, so I might as well like do that. It's just weird. I always make big ephemera, so let's just make some small stuff. So that's good. Do these need to be backed? Yes, they do. Okay. We'll do that last, I think. I'll just do this first. So where is my little... So I'm just going to fussy cut around these. Thinking today that I've been feeling I want to make a nature journal or something. Do we want them up here? And I want them down here. I have an idea for these, I think. I think I'm inspired by that little frog whoopsie tag that I made last week that I rounded the corners and I punched a hole in the top. I just really found it a very charming kind of shape. So I think I want to do that. But I may also try to find some words here. My trash bowl over here. Something not too thick. Time wandering. So if that goes like that, time wandering, then we just clip all these corners. Oh, and I don't have to back that one, that was fine. But for the ones that I do, I need to wait to do that. I need my hole punch. Punch a hole. Then you have that nice little tag, and you know, we can just grab a little scraplet of fabric out of my bin. It on through. Here. Those are pretty cute. I like that. Okay. Let's assembly line this now. Okay, no backing. Let's just go through them like that. This all need backing. Okay. So let's do this one because it doesn't. And I'll choose the purple bloodleaf plant because there's some purple on there and I think it will go nicely. And then some words, and I'll do the hole now because I've got the little hole punch here. And I'll just round the corners too because everything's just right here. Let's get this stapler out of the way that I don't need right now. I'm trying to just keep the relevant things that I that I need here. Where did I put that? Over here. Okay, just need a spot for the finished stuff so I can keep it out of the way. Glue, scissors. All right. Words. That's what we were after. These are big. I need little. All right. Afraid of the bright sunshine, the sun or the moon. Dreamed the romantic dreams. Let's go with that. Okay. So tell me, how is your Valentine's Day if you celebrate Valentine's Day or any rendition thereof? We made heart pizzas with the kiddos in true parenting fashion. And because there was some illness in the house, we just we took all the stress. I mean, we never have stressful holidays. We don't put pressure on one another like that. But we especially, even mentally, were like, let's not even think about this or worry about this. Just looking for a good color of a scrap for this one. It's this, but I think, whoopsies, throwing my scraps around here. Are there any long strips in this? Also, I need to get these out of this bag. All these like little bits and bobs of scraps, it's just wild. How many scraps can one person amass? Many, many, if you were wondering. Scraps of fabric, scraps of everything. What's this? Green, yes. It's just got to be long enough. Oh, actually, you know what I can do? We can pull it through, and then it's actually kind of nice to do. You just flip it up like that, right? Then we take a little stapler. You can do a staple right through on top of your hole, like above your hole. Just straighten out your fabric. Obviously you can stitch also, but I'm trying to do a specific. There, little cute. That one is done. This one, this is going to take maybe forever. Why don't I take a little bit of time to fussy cut all these plants out and then back all of these little tags, because you've seen the whole process. So instead of like keeping you here for the entirety of me fussy cutting all this, if I'm not being a good conversationalist, I will just do this bit myself, and then I'll come back and we'll be able to just put them all together. Okay, I'll be right back. Everything is backed, and I decided also to just round the corners and pop the hole in as well. Now we can do the fun part together. So let's choose a plant for this one. Let me just flip them all upright so we can see what would be cutest. I think I like this little one, to be honest. That's cute. So let's put that on there. Oops. In that short time, my glue decided it would be clogged. Why not? Got to keep things interesting here. Okay, where's my pin? Here it is, here it is. This is what happens when you don't put your pin back in your glue like you're supposed to. It gets grumpy. That one, and let's put the bird garden on that one. I think I'm going to go outside for a walk after I make this video. The bird garden. And I just need a piece of fabric. Probably all I need. Oh, let's just go with the whole thing, I guess. Now this one, go with that. I might do a video on how to use collage boards in unconventional ways, because I feel like the need to use or like to make collage boards a lot because I have lots of scraps, but then I run out of like wanting to, like the feeling of wanting to use them all the time as just a kind of a background. So I don't know. I'm going to use this, which says "Scared that the magic would wear off." And that's kind of a little story in itself, right? And there's actually on the back side here, you can see it's an old photograph of little people. So that could be something you could put into some kind of a storytelling journal, or, you know, the thought of like children growing up comes to mind when I hear that verse. That's what I like about selecting your own words out of books, because you're not just using a canned, you know, sentiment from somebody else. I mean, I understand those little sentiment books and they're cute and they're good for certain things, but I kind of prefer to just build my own words if possible. This one, I want sort of a stronger image on, like that, like a jade plant or something. This one is, I already have crossed some of the dark mountains. And if you want to elevate these words at all on your page, you can certainly do that, putting them on top of something like old book spine or another piece of paper. There's a little jiggity jaggedy. Try to do the staple method with this one. Oops. Something happened to that staple. Curiouser and curiouser. Every now and then these little staplers, I don't know. They do the weirdest things. And I've run out of staples for my big stapler, my old faithful. Okay. We're just going to do something different. I have my other stapler. That's the staple-free one. It won't work. My other problem is I have multiple staplers. And this one probably is empty. Oh, no, it isn't. All right. Good, good. I just need to press that a little. That's not completely down. Let's use my bone folder for that. Just because nobody likes to get jabbed with a staple. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So let's put these two away. Keep this little guy out in case we need him. Now this one, it's got some purple. Put this one up here, maybe in the middle. Actually, I like that one. I'm going to do it right on that line between the papers where they meet up in the middle there. And then this one, I'm going to just put full of life on there. We need a little scrappy. Long enough, Just about. Yeah, it's good. Here my kids roaming around. Definitely got to get them out today because now that they're not sick with anything, they're going to need to get those days worth of energy out. Outie, out, outs. That little piece of paper needs to come off. Yeah, it's not going to stay. Okay, let's put this one on here. It's very simple and cute. As the sun came through the clouds. I want to put that on there too, maybe. So, yeah, let's do that. I have a piece of fuzz glued to my finger. That's no fun. This is the life of a paper / fiber artist, is that little fibers are just floating around looking for your glue, and then it's like impossible to get it off your sticky little gluey fingers. This one I can use this with, I think. Gonna grab both of those and try to swing them into one knot if I can. There we go. Last one, and I think I'll use this one because it picks the color up from that flea market sign above. Under a shady tree. Will that fit across there? Not quite. Let's cut tree off the end. Good. This one I think I'll also use the other little scrap of this fabric here. Whoops. Okay. Itty bitty knots. Getting all the practice from doing up all the little itty bitty buttons and clips on my kids' clothing. That's been a thing. The tiny little buttons on kids' clothing. Okay, that's those done. So I think I'll put my swatches and these little plants back in like my little fodder binder that I have at the back of my desk here. So we'll get those out of the way. I think they've done their duty. Stick them back here, and we have a couple of like fodder pieces, which was an unexpected little bonus. Sorry for the reach. There we go. Okay, where were we? These both sort of speak pockets to me, so let's set those there. These apple images, I'm trying to decide. I don't think I want to use the painted ones, but I do quite like this little blue background apple. And I know some of you be like, why? Why would you throw that away, you silly? And the answer is because I can't keep it all, and I have to go with actually what inspires me, right? What is the size of this in comparison to that? It's about the same, so I don't want to waste that with that. Then over here, I think I just want to do some firm backing and actually just turn these into like what they are, which is like Valentine type pieces. Back here, none of this I find very inspiring, so I think We just need to do some backing on these. Let me grab this. Perfect. Okay. Let's start with this one. So we'll just cut these apart. And then I'm just going to cut around this. And I'm not keeping those tassels, but I do have an idea to do something a little similarly. Glue book. I need to get more glue. I guess I can use the rest of what I have in here though with the spread method here. Make sure we've got every bit of this. Good. Okay. Take this off. Scissors are somewhere around here, right? Put that away for now. Here they are. I'm kind of, as you can see, like cutting a little bit randomly, just because of the shape of the tassel-y, ribbony bit on the picture itself. Keeping the red, but getting rid of all the white. Okay. Now I have to just reach something here. So remember there were little tassels on either side of this, right? Let's put eyelets because it will kind of keep that neat feeling of what this once was. Use gold eyelets. Oops. Oh my goodness. Stay in there. Okay. And then I can take some like, if we want to go with like a pink threads that could hang from that, or possibly I'll get some fabric in a little bit. Maybe I'll do it when I do my stitching, because I think, I don't know, I could stitch around the edge of this like that, and then I'll add the ribbon or lace or thread or something after. So I'll put that one in the stitching pile, okay? That little apple over there, because we have to see what we want to do with that. This, the Lace Valentine, is an example of a card assembled in the United States from imported materials. The colored cutouts come from Germany, the lace paper from England. The card was assembled in the 1890s and has a deeply scalloped border like valentines of this period. I was seeing a lot of valentines at the antique store when I went. I didn't pick any up though because they were at reseller prices and I was like, no way. And they have the, what do they call them? Like the waffle valentines, like the ones that They've got those layers and layers of kind of woven crisscrossy like tissue, so it opens into like a 3D kind of object, like a party favor, kind of like those, you would glue two ends together. They also make like Halloween decor like that, like a jack-o'-lantern that has a cardboard half on either end, but then in between there's layers and layers of orange kind of waffly tissue paper, and it's kind of like an accordion or something, right? And then you would glue the two ends together to get that 3D object. So they had lots of those, but I was too frugal about it. I just don't have a use for something like that would require me to spend so much money. Keeping the junk and junk journaling somewhat here. These days when I guess because I've been in like the estate buying and auction and antique buying and selling game for so long, that I have a little bit of a snarky attitude about how it goes these days, as well as just the thrift stores that I find to be extremely immoral in how they are operated. I'm really hoping in the future to see like a big surge or even legislation on the private industry of donated goods, because, when you think about it, imagine what kind of change you would see in your local municipality, in your community, if large chains like Value Village were not getting all of the donated goods that people put in bags thinking they're donating to, a diabetes charity or something, when they're not. They're definitely like spending very little money as it relates to the entirety of their shareholders and their millions of dollars, right? So imagine if all that stuff instead went to somewhere that was actually run by your city or your county, and all the funds that were made from it went to programs like your local food pantry or food bank, animal shelter, or addiction services, your local hospital, like your local schools. Imagine if it was returned to the community in a scholarship fund, or, to fund a community event that occurs annually, or to plant trees, or to start, a conservation area. Just imagine the power in money if it were spent ethically rather than given to these big religious groups, charity groups, to do with what they will, what they want, right? There's no oversight. And even for these registered charities, if you go to Charity Navigator, you will see that all is not as it appears most of the time. So yeah. Okay. That and the fact that I follow an Instagrammer and a social media person called Ridiculous Thrifter, and he does such a great job of like talking about all the nonsense with like especially Value Village and how they price things, and also the things that they will resell. Like, I remember one of the yuckiest things I ever saw when I went to like a Value Village one time. They had an aquarium that someone had donated, and all the stuff was still inside it. It wasn't cleaned, and there were also deceased fish inside, and they wanted $18.99 for it, and I was like, what? What is even going on? But yeah, I also find it like kind of a weird, how sometimes you stand back and you just watch something and you think, not my circus, like, not getting involved. Well, I find so many times when I've gone into thrift stores, people have like, done the tag popping, like switching tags or tearing the tag off to try to get a better price. Like, I see it all the time. And most of the stores that I go to, they have a rule like they won't sell it to you if the tag is missing. Like, I've even had my son, okay, like when he was like 3, you know, he comes into the store and he's running around and he'll find something on the floor, like a little car, and he's playing with it, and, you know, it's not in a bag. It doesn't have a price on it. I've even had like these, oh my gosh, these employees who are so driven by like process, right? Like, I say, because, you know, he found it on the floor. It's not even probably like for sale. Either another kid dropped it, or it came out of something, or it fell off a cart or something, right? Like, it's obviously an object with zero worth. And on more than one occasion, I've tried, like, I've said, oh, my son found this little car on the ground, you know, can I purchase it? And one of several things happens. So the first thing that happens is they usually say, oh, okay, it's $1. And I kind of feel one way about that, like, why wouldn't you just give it to him? Because that's what I would do. I'd be like, that's fine, just take it. It doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. But at the same time, I'm happy to pay for it, whatever. I don't expect anything given to me in this life, but I just think about what I would do versus what other people do. The next thing that happens is that someone will say, oh, don't worry about it, she's fine, just take it. And that is like what leaves me feeling like society still has some amount of normal decency. And then the third thing that will happen is the controversy, which is when they get all flustered and they're like, oh, well, you know, where's the packaging and where's the price tag? And like, they're doing one of several things. They're either A, assuming that we have taken it out of a package or torn a tag off, which we never do. I would not teach my kids to act that way. But two, they have to follow a policy. Like, we can't sell it to you. It has no price. Or they'll call the manager, which I always enjoy. It's always really hilarious to me, and time wasting. And so I find, like, I don't know, I find myself in this dilemma. Like, what I feel like I want to say is just, like, do you see this? Like, do you feel the way I feel right now? Like, that's what I really want to say to people, but I don't want to, like, humiliate or embarrass anyone. But, like, I literally just want to say, like, can you believe that in this, our day of 2024, we're standing here debating on whether or not a 3-year-old who found a little car on the floor that's broken probably and dirty and whatever, whether or not, like, it can be sold to him. So, like, I also sometimes feel like, okay, go ahead, try to get it from him. Because, as you know, toddlers are, like, very, it's called object permanence. They get at a certain age. They don't understand yet neurologically how to process when they lose something or when something is taken from them that they want. They feel that it is permanent, that it is theirs. They have no concept, right? And this isn't a matter of good parenting or bad parenting. It's literally neurology. So, and then if you have a child who is neurodivergent, that gets even more complex. So, several children who are autistic, you know, they will have even a bigger reaction because it's even less sensible to them. And honestly, maybe because they're a lot smarter than most of us, in that they understand how completely nonsensical it is to be acting this way. So, yeah, I don't know. Thrift stores these days just kind of make me a little bit, like, emotionally punchy. Or, I don't know. And I don't mean punchy like physical. I mean, like, observant and dumbfounded, if anything. There we go. Fun, fun, fun. I just went around that with my zigzaggy scissors, my pinkers, and I like that. But I know that CBC, like our Canadian broadcasting company, they have a show called Marketplace, and they actually just took a bunch of, unfortunately, they took a bunch of information from Ridiculous Thrifter, and they didn't credit him at all in their investigation with their Marketplace show. But they did use the term ridiculous a lot, which is funny because we were joking about we're in a thrifting kind of community on social media, and we were all kind of joking about how many times they use the term ridiculous, but like they didn't credit him in any way, which is in itself ridiculous. So I think I'm going to leave these two as is. That'd be a really cute pocket, and this could be a little tuck-in or a little pocket. I like those as is. So these, I said they'd be good pockets. This little apple, I think I'm going to put it in my little fodder because I think I can use it somewhere where an apple comes into the theme of what I'm making. So this is what we have left. You know, and both of them kind of scream pocket at me. Like this one for sure. I feel like if I just take my punch over here. I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit because I know that'll be a little wide for most of my books. And then I'll just punch it because that'll be a great pocket. It doesn't always have to be something, you know, crazy. Because, like, the thing is, let's say you're doing a journal about travel, right? You could take something like this. You can add stamps to it. You could add a little, you know, train ticket, whatever you want to bring it into the theme that you're, you know, going with. So let's do that. And then this one, I like this kind of shape that it has where it's a little higher on one side than the other. And I definitely think it would be a nice pocket. Just looking, maybe I'll grab something from my gigantically overstuffed ephemera folder here. Where is, you know, I should pull this down so you can see it. I don't even think I can. That's how overstuffed it is. Isn't that horrible? It's literally a gator mouth, like, that is like going like this. It's just, it's untenable. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's very like shabby chic-y to me, and I think this will go with a project that I am currently working on. I could also make that another tuck on here, but I'm just going to make it one single pocket today. As so. Okay. All right, so let me go do my stitching and then I'll return with the whole gang and I'll show you everything. Okay, we made 18 pieces today, guys. So here are the bits that I stitched on. Here are the two tags with the celestial punks. Love those. Then this card, this envelope. These could go together, honestly. Our Valentine card, that pocket. This I did the stitching around. I've decided to leave this alone. I'm not going to tie anything in there yet because I probably want to use this like a belly band or something. It could be really fun. Even on the cover of a journal, I could take a ribbon on either end and I could use it to tie it like a closure. So I will do something with that when I have a relevant journal. Pockets, 1 and 2. This little journal card, and then these tags. So I had a lot of fun with this. Thank you for hanging out with me for this Tuesday 10, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.